Have you ever dealt with someone who seems emotionally stuck in time? Someone who, regardless of age, reacts like a teenager when facing everyday situations? Emotional immaturity isn't about age, it's about someone's ability to handle emotions and take responsibility. In this video, we'll explore 7 clear signs that someone is emotionally immature. Understanding these behaviors can help you avoid unnecessary conflict and protect your mental well-being. And at the end, we'll talk about practical strategies for dealing with emotionally immature people in your daily life. Get ready for a journey of self-awareness and learning. 1. Difficulty handling criticism. Emotionally immature people see any kind of criticism as a personal attack. They can't tell the difference between helpful feedback and an insult. That's because their self-esteem is fragile. They feel threatened easily and take feedback as rejection. They often react in 3 ways. Aggressively, with sarcasm or anger. Example: "Oh really? Let's see if you can do it better." Playing the victim, acting like they're being unfairly targeted. Example: "No one ever appreciates my efforts." Silent resentment. They pull away and hold grudges without explaining why. At the root of it, this behavior shows insecurity. Instead of reflecting on how they can improve, they deny the issue. Real-life example: an employee who, after being reminded about frequent lateness, says their boss is picking on them, instead of owning the mistake. Or a coworker who responds to constructive feedback with sarcasm or flat-out refuses to listen. 2. Blaming others for their own mistakes. One of the clearest signs of immaturity is avoiding responsibility. This person always finds someone else to blame for their failures. If they miss a deadline, it's because no one reminded them. If they have a fight, it's because the other person provoked it. This behavior usually comes with lack of self-reflection. They never ask, "What could I have done differently?" Defensiveness. They'll do anything to protect their image. Emotional immaturity. They don't understand the emotional cause and effect behind their actions. Everyday example: someone who ends every relationship saying, "I only date crazy people," but never questions their own behavior. Or someone who's always late and blames traffic, though they know they left the house late. 3. Impulsive behavior and poor emotional control. Impulsiveness is a big red flag for emotional immaturity. Overreacting, sudden outbursts of anger, or making rash decisions often mean they can't manage their emotions. These people tend to react before they think. They explode easily, act in the heat of the moment, and then regret it later. Impulsiveness is often rooted in low frustration tolerance. Every small obstacle becomes a major drama. It can show up in different ways. Verbal: saying hurtful things without thinking. Financial: overspending just to feel good. Romantic: jumping in or out of relationships impulsively. Professional: quitting jobs because they can't handle rules or structure. Example: a customer who, after a minor service issue, causes a scene, shouting, threatening to sue, only to return later as if nothing happened. 4. Constant need for attention and validation. Immature people often rely on external approval to feel good about themselves. This constant need can lead to manipulative or overly dramatic behavior. They need to be the center of attention, all the time. They feel incomplete without praise. On social media, they go over the top. In real life, they get upset if they're not the focus. This emotional neediness can lead to over-the-top self-promotion, sharing achievements just for compliments, playing the victim, creating drama just to get attention, subtle jealousy. If someone else is shining, they try to outshine them. Example: a friend who, during someone else's moment of praise, jumps in with a bigger story, even if it's unrelated. Or someone who constantly posts online just to get compliments or sympathy. 5. Struggles to maintain healthy relationships. Relationships require maturity, compromise, listening, admitting mistakes, and being consistent. Immature people are emotionally unstable. They swing from love to anger in a matter of days. They chase the idea of a perfect relationship and give up at the first sign of conflict. In relationships, you might notice extreme jealousy, constant suspicion and possessiveness, emotional manipulation, guilt-tripping, threats to break up, or playing mind games. Poor communication, yelling, playing the victim, or going silent, instead of having an adult conversation. Example: a partner who says, "I'll disappear so you'll miss me," instead of talking about what's bothering them. Or someone who constantly threatens to end the relationship over every little argument. 6. Lack of empathy and understanding for others. Immature people often have a self-centered view of the world. They believe their feelings, needs, and wants matter more than anyone else's. This can make them come across as insensitive, rude, or even cruel, without realizing it. You'll notice this when they interrupt others just to talk about themselves, dismiss others' emotions with things like, "Other people have it worse," ignore boundaries, emotional, physical, or time-related. Example: someone who asks for help at a terrible time, and when you explain you can't, replies, "Forget it, you're never there for me." Or someone who constantly cuts others off in conversation, showing zero interest in what others have to say. 7. Avoiding responsibilities and commitments. Taking responsibility is part of growing up. Immature people avoid commitment, procrastinate, and run from anything that requires effort or consistency. They want all the benefits of adult life, without the responsibilities. They dodge commitments, delay decisions, and make excuses to avoid anything that requires dedication. You'll see this in work, constantly changing jobs, always late, disorganized. Personal life, avoiding serious talks about the future or family responsibilities. Finances, can't manage bills, don't save, and avoid planning. Example: an adult who lives with their parents, doesn't study or work, but demands total freedom and independence. Or a coworker who always delays tasks or misses deadlines, holding the team back. Conclusion: how to deal with emotionally immature people. Recognizing emotional immaturity is the first step in protecting yourself from toxic relationships and unnecessary stress. But how can you deal with these people? Set clear boundaries. Decide what's okay and what's not. Be firm, but respectful. Communicate assertively. Express your feelings and needs clearly, without being aggressive. Avoid unnecessary conflict. Immature people overreact easily. Choose your battles and know when to walk away. Practice empathy, but don't lose yourself. Try to understand them, but never at the cost of your own well-being. Seek support when needed. Talk to friends, family, or a professional to help you handle these situations. Remember, you can't change other people's behavior, but you can control how you respond. Prioritize your emotional health and surround yourself with people who bring positivity to your life. If this video spoke to you, like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel.